Big earnings today out of Microsoft. Yeah, big earnings out of Google. One went one direction, one went the other. We're going to dive into the charts right now and go ahead and dissect exactly what is going on. Okay, couple of lines that I want you to be aware of from a technical analysis standpoint, the resistance and the support guiding Microsoft currently. So you zoom in enough, this is the big after hours move. You had a big move that took it from the low 330s up into the low 340s. Not bad. Definitely helps with the market going into tomorrow. The only thing I would be wanting to warn you about is that oftentimes when you have a big reaction in one of the big tech plays, it sucks the wind out of all the other stocks tomorrow. So that if there's even like a little bit of a wobble in a stock like Microsoft that had great earnings, it tends to put a damper effect on the rest of the market and you get a sell off. So oftentimes you'll see the market sell off even though you had really good earnings out of one of the big tech plays. So keep that in mind going into Wednesday. So this declining resistance, this is the first level I want you to be aware of. Now, resistance up until about mid-October, that is. It breaks through it, and then it looks like it's going to break out, but it couldn't ever really push through. Why is that? That's because it had this rising trend line that it previously broke through to the downside, acting as resistance. But now with the earnings, and a lot can change between the open and when the stock starts to trade during regular trading hours to where it might be back below it. If it is, be aware of this purple line of resistance. This resistance line can offer up some heavy, heavy resistance as it has done for really about the past couple of weeks. Right now it's breaking through it. If it can hold that level, that's great. It'll gap above that resistance and maybe it can do a gap and run. To the downside, you have the support level underneath. If you do get a fade, you want to make sure that you're holding that 323 level tomorrow. That's going to be a huge level going forward. You also have, if we just go ahead and take everything off this chart, you have a little bit of a cup and handle pattern. So you have the cup right here, and then you have the handle. And this is a little bit of a flatter handle, but nonetheless, it does work that way as a cup and handle pattern. You have the breakout there. So that's big. You also have this area of resistance that's going to be important for it to be able to break through tomorrow. So this little area of resistance is going to be a difficult task for the stock. Can it push through it? Right now it is. It's trading just above it. But if you get any little bit of a fade or a sell-off or some profit taking, you could find yourself back into this resistance area right here. Now, Google went the exact opposite. So we're talking about this one from a much different point of view. I've already outlined the resistance and the support levels here that I want you to be paying attention to. The first one is the support level here. This is a huge level here. If it starts to pull back, which it's already done, trading from the upper 130s all the way down to 130. If it breaks this, then you're starting to look at a move down to this 126 area. Now, the one thing about Google, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't really been trading it at all lately, is because you have this rising layer of resistance, this purple line here, and it's not been able to break through it. You can see it over and over again. It has tested it and it has sold off. So every time it has tested this level, we have gone into nasty pullback. So this falls right in line with like what we saw right here in mid-October. We tested, and ever since then we've been pulling back. So now you get that acceleration to the downside, this yellow level right here of support, that has got to hold. Now, you also have this trend line right here. Keep in mind, kind of like what I talked about with Microsoft. It could fade. Like on Microsoft, it could fade to the downside. Google could actually reverse to back to the upside. If it can hold this line into the open, that would be a big deal. That would set up for a bounce opportunity. If it can't, then you set up for this move back down to 126. There's overall a damper on the market as a whole, so you want to be keeping that in mind. Overall, what I like to do a lot of times with stocks that are just reporting earnings, especially to the downside in the case of Google, I don't want to try to buy it right out of the gates. I want to see where it starts to settle in at. What kind of layer of new support or existing support does it finally able to rest at and start to base and then break out? If it goes ahead and does a V-shaped bottom and bounces, fine. Go have fun with that. I'll move on to the next trade. But if it can carve out a nice little support area, start to base a little bit, then I might get interested in playing it. Oftentimes, you got to give these stocks like 3 or 4 days before it finally can start to find some traction to the upside. And that's what you want to do here with Google. If you enjoyed this video, I'd encourage you to like and to subscribe. Hit that little bell notification so you can get all of the alerts for when I do one of these new videos or a live stream or a short or something like that. Thank you guys, and God bless.